any hope to continue? I know that you were talking about the big bill that was passed over the weekend, but their funding has been cut for the school lunch program that was so popular the last 2 years. Is there any talk in Congress of continuing that?
There's no question that we've got to make sure that we have the resources committed to school lunch, school breakfast, the SNAP program, so many other critical programs for ensuring that we have not only feeding for children, but also nutritious foods. But the one recent bright spot was the extension of some of the waivers and other provisions that allowed us to get through this summer. The only problem is we've got to do the same thing for next summer. But I'm hoping we can get the same kind of bipartisanship that animated the spirit of that effort when it comes to school lunch and school breakfast and anything else. We've got to make sure the funding is there, and there is plenty of money available if people are willing to do the right thing in the tax code. When you have your values right, when it comes to that tax code, you can find the revenue. We got to find that revenue.
State College is one of the college towns still questioning, want a recount from the 2020 census. Students were sent home during the pandemic. They said they had a huge undercount in State College. Have you talked to Census Bureau? Have you heard from other communities in Pennsylvania about this issue?
Well, we've heard about it, but I want to make sure that that the Census Bureau complies with the law under any administration. It doesn't matter who the Secretary of Commerce is, who the President is. They've got to comply with the law, count everyone, because that counting determines the dollars that come to a state, the dollars that comes to a congressional district. And we got to make sure they follow the law. Too often in recent history, the census has been politicized, and dangerously so.
It was mentioned today that looking at agriculture here, the average age of a farmer is about...
Well, part of it has come to Ag Progress Days. That's a good start. But I think probably over time, the greatest inspiration that I can probably point to are the young people behind, or to my right here. They're the ones who are going to chart the future, and they're the ones who can have the most impact on young men and women their age. It won't be a speech from a politician that will do it. But I think these young people have demonstrated over and over again, generation after generation, that they're going to build that future of farming and agriculture in Pennsylvania. And I think that's we just have to make sure that we lift them up, and also make sure that policy is aligned with supporting agriculture. If we do both of those well, highlighting what they're doing, allowing them the opportunity to inspire others, as well as get the policy. Agriculture here in the Commonwealth and across the nation is in good hands and very strong.
What are some policies that you might be working on right now that makes you feel inspired for the future of agriculture?
Well, part of it is to get ready for the next Farm Bill. I mean, we've got work to do between now and 2023 and thereafter. Too often Farm Bills kind of bleed into the year after which the deadline hits. We want to make sure we get a new Farm Bill in place as close to the deadline of 2023 as possible. And also to make sure that we're doing the job not just every 5 years or so on a Farm Bill, but every year on appropriations. That's why those appropriation bills are so critical in terms of supporting agricultural initiatives and programs. I mentioned conservation earlier. Those programs are going to get a huge, unprecedented infusion from the bill this weekend. But we got to make sure that we do the job every year on the appropriation bills.